some of the most interesting things about him.
Buried beneath the desert sands, echoing whispers from a time long forgotten, a tomb hidden for centuries has finally revealed itself, and with it, a discovery that could change everything we thought we knew about ancient history. Within the tomb were mysterious artifacts etched with celestial symbols, and DNA unlike anything ever classified. It raises a chilling question. Could the legends of giants be more than just myths? Could they have been real beings preserved in stories passed down through millennia? Thanks to modern technology, we now have the tools to investigate the truth behind these ancient remains. Join us as we uncover the incredible story of what lies inside the tomb, a discovery made entirely by chance, but one that has the power to rewrite history. In the scorching heart of Iraq's remote desert, far from any sign of civilization, a team of German explorers and archaeologists set out on a classified mission in the early 2000s. The mission's details were vague, the location kept off the maps, but what they discovered would shake the world of archaeology to its core, quietly but powerfully. Buried beneath layers of sand, rubble, and silence, the team stumbled upon something extraordinary. A sealed stone chamber that had remained hidden for thousands of years. Inside, they found a remarkably intact skeleton of a giant, not just tall but towering, measuring over 12 feet in length. Its limbs were unnaturally long, its bones unusually thick, and its skull bore features never before seen in typical human remains. Initial carbon dating placed the tomb at over 3,000 years old, though some experts believed it could be even older. But what truly shocked the team wasn't just the size, it was the preservation. The skeleton appeared to have been entombed with incredible care, almost ritualistically, as if whoever buried it did so out of deep reverence or fear. The remains were quietly transported to a private lab for further study and DNA analysis. And then, suddenly, silence. No updates, no reports, just a mystery that vanished as quickly as it was found. No academic announcements, no peer-reviewed studies, just silence. Rumors quickly began to circulate. Some whispered that the remains belonged to King Gilgamesh himself. Others claimed that DNA testing revealed genetic markers unlike anything found in the human genome, fueling theories of extraterrestrial origins or long-lost forbidden bloodlines. Why was such a groundbreaking discovery buried in secrecy? What did the archaeologists truly uncover? And more importantly, who or what was buried in that tomb? Who was he? The mystery of the giant's identity remains one of the most perplexing archaeological riddles of our time. Yet among the speculation, 3 names consistently rise from the dust of ancient history: Gilgamesh, the Nephilim, and the Anunnaki. Gilgamesh, the powerful king of Uruk, is no stranger to legend. Known from one of the world's oldest surviving texts, the Epic of Gilgamesh, he was described as part divine, part human, and a ruler of extraordinary strength and wisdom. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest literary works known to humanity, describes him as 2/3 god and 1/3 man. His strength was unmatched, and his quest for immortality became legend. But legends, as they say, often have roots in truth. Could this hidden tomb be the final resting place of Gilgamesh himself? Then there are the Nephilim, mysterious figures mentioned in the book of Genesis. Said to be the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, the Nephilim were described as giants, ancient warriors of immense power. Some believe they were destroyed in the Great Flood, their memory buried beneath centuries of earth and silence. And finally, the Anunnaki, deities of ancient Sumerian lore. These powerful beings were believed to have descended from the heavens, shaping civilization, judging the dead, and possibly even altering human DNA. Some fringe theorists argue they weren't gods at all, but advanced beings from another world, towering, intelligent, possibly extraterrestrial. This tomb in Iraq appears to weave all 3 narratives together: a giant king, sacred burial rituals, and DNA unlike anything previously seen. Could Gilgamesh, the demigod king, have actually been a Nephilim? And could the Nephilim themselves be the descendants of the Anunnaki? What if the stories of the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, and Gilgamesh aren't separate myths, but fragments of a much older truth? The ancient giants, a global mystery. Iraq is not the only place where mysterious giant skeletons and strange legends have been uncovered. From continent to continent, across cultures and centuries, clues keep emerging, suggesting that ancient giants may not be myth after all. These discoveries challenge everything we thought we knew about our past. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this video reach more curious minds like yours. Thank you. Let's start with Lovelock Cave, Nevada. According to Paiute tribal legends, red-haired giants once roamed the area, fierce and cannibalistic. The story goes that the Paiute people, in an act of survival, trapped these beings inside a cave, sealed the entrance with brush and timber, and set it ablaze, burning the giants alive. For a long time, many dismissed this as folklore. But in the early 20th century, archaeologists excavating Lovelock Cave found oversized human bones, enormous tools, and sandals nearly 15 inches long, far too large for average human feet. The legend may have had more truth than anyone imagined. Thousands of miles away in Shandong Province, China, an ancient Neolithic burial site revealed another surprise. The remains of individuals significantly taller than average were unearthed, some measuring over 6 feet 2 inches during a time when most people stood no taller than 5 feet. Historians tried to explain it as genetic variation, but the pattern is hard to ignore.
In my opinion, the extraterrestrials were the giants, and they had sex with humans, and slowly, for generation, we became smaller.
Some experts suggest that these unusually tall individuals may have been tribal leaders, benefiting from better diets and living conditions. But even today, their extraordinary height continues to raise questions. Was it really just nutrition? Or could there be more to the story? Travel to Sardinia, and you'll encounter the Monte Prama Colossi, towering limestone statues dating back over 3,000 years. Each stands more than 8 feet tall. These weren't random artistic creations, they stood guard over an ancient necropolis. Many believe these statues were based on real warrior elites, possibly giants, possibly descendants of something even older. Now let's turn to the Channel Islands off the coast of California. In the 1920s, amateur archaeologist Ralph Glidden claimed to have unearthed over 3,000 skeletons, many measuring between 7 and 9 feet tall. In one case, he reported discovering a massive woman buried with the remains of dozens of children surrounding her. His findings were dismissed at the time, but later, independent records surfaced confirming similar discoveries by other researchers. These aren't random or isolated incidents, and they're not just ancient myths. From Peru to Egypt, from Greece to Mexico, legends of giants appear again and again. Some portray them as benevolent teachers or builders. Others describe them as fierce rulers or bringers of chaos. In certain stories, giants ruled the earth long before humans. In others, they lived among us, side by side. Some say they helped construct the world's greatest monuments. Others say they brought destruction and were eventually wiped out. But when you start connecting the dots, what emerges isn't scattered folklore. It's a pattern. A hidden chapter of history that's been buried, both literally and figuratively. And that brings us full circle to the tomb uncovered in Iraq. Because if one ancient giant king has been found, how many more are still waiting to be discovered? The fall of the giants. Hidden history. The fall of the giants' floods. Wars. Plagues. For every ancient legend that speaks of giants, there's also a story about their downfall. According to sacred texts and mythologies from around the world, these towering beings once walked the earth freely, their power unmatched, their presence impossible to ignore. But then, something happened, something catastrophic, a force that seemingly wiped them from history. In the Bible, the Great Flood is described as God's response to a world filled with corruption, including the presence of the Nephilim, giant offspring of divine and human unions. Only Noah, his family, and selected animals were spared. Was this truly divine judgment, or a targeted extinction event meant to erase a forgotten race? In Greek mythology, we hear of the Gigantomachy, a savage war between the Olympian gods and a race of giants known as the Gigantes. These colossal beings challenged the gods themselves, and the battles were said to shake the very foundations of Mount Olympus. Zeus, wielding his thunderbolts, led the charge in a war that would determine the fate of the ancient world. Eventually, the giants were defeated. Those who survived were either cast into the underworld or hunted to extinction. But not all giants met their end in battle. In many ancient myths, giants succumbed to plagues and disease. Their massive bodies, once seen as miracles of biology, may have also been their greatest weakness. Lacking the ability to recover as swiftly as humans, entire clans may have been wiped out by a single outbreak of illness. Others point to natural disasters, volcanic eruptions, massive earthquakes, even meteor strikes, as the culprits. Entire cities and kingdoms, said to be ruled by giants, were swallowed by the earth or consumed by the sea. Like the mythic Atlantis, their civilizations vanished beneath waves and rubble, leaving behind only mystery. There's even a theory that suggests giants may have interbred with humans, gradually shrinking over generations until only traces of their DNA remained, hidden deep within us. Whatever the cause, divine punishment, natural catastrophe, or slow genetic dilution, the giants disappeared. But the real question is, were they truly erased from history, or have they simply been forgotten? DNA revelations. What lies beneath? When scientists uncovered the colossal skeleton from the sealed tomb in Iraq, they followed standard protocol: DNA extraction. But what they found next shattered all expectations. The early genetic tests revealed strange anomalies, sequences that didn't match any known human genome. Even more puzzling, some of the markers weren't found in any known animal species either. Whatever this being was, it wasn't fully human, and maybe not even entirely of this earth. Speculation exploded. Had researchers stumbled upon proof of non-human ancestry? Was this the genetic fingerprint of the Anunnaki? The mysterious beings some believe were extraterrestrials who once shaped early human civilization? Or could this have been a descendant of the Nephilim, the beings born from unions between divine and human figures, as described in ancient scripture? Some even suggested this could be the missing link, evidence of ancient genetic engineering that may have altered the course of human evolution itself. But just as the excitement began to grow, everything went quiet. The research team stopped communicating. The data was never made public, and according to reports, the remains were quietly moved to a private facility, far from the eyes of the public or scientific community. Was it a cover-up? If the DNA held proof of alien influence or divine intervention, would the world ever be told? For now, the truth remains hidden. The mystery grows deeper, and we're left to wonder, myth or reality? Final thoughts. The legacy of giants. For generations, the stories of giants have been dismissed, brushed off as myths, exaggerations, or symbolic tales. But what if they weren't just stories? What if they were memories? Across the ancient world, from the deserts of Mesopotamia to the temples of China, from biblical scripture to the stone guardians of Sardinia, cultures that never crossed paths described beings of immense size and unimaginable power who once walked the earth. Can they all have been wrong? The Bible speaks of the Nephilim. Sumerian tablets honor the Anunnaki. Ancient kings and emperors were revered as part divine. And now, beneath layers of time and dust, archaeologists are unearthing skeletons, tombs, and DNA that hint these giants may not have been fictional at all. Could Gilgamesh have truly existed? Could his story have survived? Not as fantasy, but as a fragmented truth passed down through generations. Were the Anunnaki gods, or ancient travelers from beyond the stars? Did the Nephilim disappear in a great flood, or did their legacy continue within us? Maybe the past wasn't lost. Maybe it was simply buried, waiting to be rediscovered. As we decode ancient genomes and uncover long-forgotten remains, one question grows louder. Are we truly the beginning of history, or just its most recent chapter?